Hello and welcome to the final day of the FIS Alpine Ski World Championships here in Ispo in Spain. It's all about slalom for both the men and the women today. Once again, welcome for joining us here in Ispo, the 2023 FIS Alpine Ski World Championships with myself, Alan March. We are almost ready for our final day of action. It's a cold one this morning. It felt like minus 13 about an hour ago. It's actually only minus 7, but the sun is coming up and it is warming up here. The action should be pretty hot. Anyway, we've got men and women combined today. We should have just had the women and the men yesterday, but the weather conditions were not suitable. Nothing like they are today, which is pretty much perfect. The sun is out, the sky is blue. What more could you want on a Sunday than Alpine? As always, we start with women's VI. We'll move on to women's standing and then the women's sitting. We'll follow that same procedure for the men's events as well. The slip teams, the officials, the coaches are all out on course. So too are the skiers getting ready at the top. 9 scheduled to go in the women's VI. Bring you that start list in just a moment, shall we? There we are. Barbara Aigner get us underway. Sister Veronica Aigner is the reigning Paralympic champion from Beijing last year. Martina Vossa. Guide Fabrizio Casal for Chiara Mazel. They've celebrated plenty of medals here at these World Championships so far. People watching on from all different parts of the course. Menna Fitzpatrick getting ready. The French team, plenty of athletes taking part. They've had plenty of fans as well. Nail-biting action. Also, good to mention the final day of action at the Nordic World Championships as well in Östersund. Our Nordic event being run at exactly the same time in Sweden as we are here in Spain. Northeast region, very close to the border of Andorra and France. I'll look up the hill. Just at the top of that was the gate you could see, and there it is. So it's not the longest of courses, of course. They never are with slalom, but it is tricky enough. 61 gates. And it's about how quickly you can get through all of them and then do it again later on. 2 runs then. This is Barbara Eigner, 17-year-old winner of the giant slalom at the last World Championships. Guided down by Clara Sicora. Again, all of these athletes in the vision impaired category. There's 3 classifications within that. B1 to B3, B1 being the athletes with the lowest visual acuity. If you were considered a B1 athlete, you would have your goggles completely blacked out. B2, B3, B3 being the highest level of vision. And their times are factored dependent on those classifications. So you can see the factored time of 79.86. That means the clock runs at that speed as opposed to 100%. So first run of the morning. And that is a 56.58 for Barbara Eigner. Second out the gates, Eva Niku. The Greek athlete goes down with her guide, Dimitris Provenzas. It's not been a bad World Championships for Evangelia. 2 bronze medals in the Super G and the Alpine combined event as well. She's making her way through the gates nicely so far. She was down by over 0.8, and as she hits the line, she's doubled that. 1.6 seconds down in the opening run for Eva Niku. Martina Voza, 0.63 down. Her guide, Yelenia Sabudusi, it was her birthday the other day. Oh, and it's not going to be a full day for Vosa. It's not going to be a full day for Vosa at all. Out on the first run. Number 4 of this morning, Alexandra Rexova of Slovakia. '17. Alexandra, gold medalist, burst on the scene in the Super G in Beijing. A silver and a bronze here so far. Potentially was thinking of glory in the Super G at these World Championships as well, but failed to finish in that race, which may have come as a shock or potentially a down-to-earth moment when you're 17 and you win the Paralympic gold. There's always something around the corner to bring you down from that high, and crashing out of the event that you're Paralympic champion of was perhaps that. She's 2 seconds over during that intermediate check, and she will be outside of the lead time as well by 1.6, exactly the same time as Eva Niku. So at the moment we have a joint second place, so that makes for a good watch a little bit later on. She recovered some time there at the end, didn't she, Rexova? Now Chiara Mazel has had a fantastic World Championships, 3 gold medals from the 4 events, a DNF in the giant slalom, How good is Mazel's slalom? Fitzpatrick, Starry, Aigner and Choi still to come here. Guided by Fabrizio Casal, somebody who's used to winning medals, especially as a VI guide. Was the guide for Giacomo Bertagnoli for a while as well, and picked up plenty of medals with him. Well, it's been a good week for this Italian duo. They were 1.10 down. Can they find some close? No, it's not. 1.20 in the end. So dropped by 0.10 over the latter stages. In fact, that time coming up as 1.55 down. This is Fitzpatrick. Katie Guest leading the way for Fitzpatrick. 24-year-old. Hits the line and she is in the lead. Well, slalom Paralympic champion in Beijing, the current slalom world champion, sets the quickest time and almost by a second over Barbara Aigner as well. Elina Stari. Oh, and it's a problem here for the young Austrian, and that is the second of our VI athletes to go, and it's hands-on-heads moments for Stari as well. Fifth in the giant slalom, and no finish here in the slalom. Disappointment for the youngster. Just spins the wrong way around, and at this point, it's that sudden realization your day is over, almost before it's begun. Now, Barbara Aigner and Veronika Aigner were 1 and 2 in Beijing. This is now Veronika Aigner, the gold medal winner. Barbara Aigner has been displaced by Mennett Fitzpatrick, so we'll have to see. Rexova, who was bronze, is in 4th position with Niku. And Aigner is up here. Veronika Aigner has a lead of 0.62 on Fitzpatrick. The older of the two sisters. Giant slalom and slalom Paralympic champion. Giant slalom already here. Can she do the double-double? It's what she's looking for. And at the moment, she is on course to do so. 55.64 in this first run is the time to beat. And she will beat that. 54.41, a good run from Veronika Aigner of Austria. Well, a fantastic debut in Beijing, and at the moment she has an advantage of 1.2 heading into the second run to try and get a double gold performance here in ISPO. This is Sarah Choi, Republic of Korea, 19 years of age. Twin sister has represented Korea as well in Alpine, and is this the third going out, or is Sarah going to try and clamber back up here and get round? She is. The determination to finish this race. She was some 4.43 seconds. This is not necessarily about getting a medal. It can be all about the season's points as well. around the correct gate she goes. So Sarah Choi adamant she's going to finish this race. What difficulties will she have for the rest of the first run? And then the knowledge she's got an entire second run to get herself through after lunch as well. So Choi will not impact on the standings then. Veronika Aigner will lead after the first run as Choi struggles her way through that last part. Slalom and giant slalom, not necessarily Choi's strengths. Her medals in Lillehammer in the Super Combined, the Super G and the downhill. We'll move on to the standing athletes in a moment, but this is the standings for the vision impaired. Veronika Aigner leads it, 1.23 ahead of Menna Fitzpatrick. Barbara Aigner is some 2 seconds back on her sister. Is it double medals for the Austrians again? Veronika Aigner leads the way.
Women standing 10 in the gate.
10 athletes going here in the women's standing. We'll start with Anna Maria Rida. And we finish with Maria Martin Granizzo Ferrero of Spain. This is Anna Maria Rida, German skier with the use of just one pole in her right hand. Still only 22. Finally got her gold that she'd been craving. Made a debut back in 2017 at the Televisio World Championships. Got a bronze in the slalom. Bronze in Lillehammer in the Super Combined. Another bronze in the slalom in Beijing last year at the Paralympic Games. But here has been all about medals. 4 events, 4 medals. In the downhill, she finally broke the duck. It was gold. She's had 2 silvers here as well. This is by far the best event in her young career. Parents both worked as ski coaches at the Olympic Training Centre. Her love for the sport comes from Anna Maria Rida. Comes through in 58.85. Nice and symmetrical, isn't it? Her teammate Andrea Rothfuss is next. Rothfuss, 33, some 11 years the senior on her teammate. There's a few more gold medals in her history books. Again, just the use of the ski pole in the right hand. She clatters her way through the course nice and early here on Sunday morning. Slalom gold back in Televisio. World champion in 2011 at this discipline as well, but it's not to be so far. 199. The difference between Rothfuss and Rida so far. This is Lucia Smetisko. 3rd athlete in a row here to only use the pole in the right hand. Lucia made her World Champs debut in Lillehammer last year. Did only the giant slalom and slalom, did exactly the same in Beijing, and this is her final event, of course, having only done the giant slalom. A 6th place finish in the giant slalom the other day. Smetisko would like something around that. Again, she was 5th in Beijing, hits the line here at 6.89 seconds down. Will need a lot of luck to go her way. Well, that is Shayna Vaspi, and that is Shayna Vaspi going out as well. Oh, the Israeli. We've caught the end of the beginning, if you like. It was also the beginning of the end, so Vaspi not long out of the gates. By the time we got to her, she was out. Disappointment for Vaspi. This is Frédéric Turgeon, 22-year-old from Quebec. For obvious reasons, nicknamed Fred. Born with a congenital deficiency in her right leg. Oh, and a slide out here for Turgeon as well. Well, I said that Smetisko would need a little bit of luck to get a top 5 finish after her run, and she's getting it. Well, Turgeon just unable to find the grip and turn back in, and she goes. This is Ali Johnson. Johnson, 28, from Chicago, Illinois. This is her second World Championships. Made a debut in Lillehammer last year. The last two athletes have gone out, so at the moment, Johnson staying on course seems a victory of sorts. Saw Sarah Choi in the VI absolutely adamant she was going to finish her run. There you can see in the top right, Ebba Arsho making her way out onto the slope. Heavily fancied in this one. Johnson finishes 10.97 seconds back. Arsho, 22-year-old, already 7 gold medals at World and Paralympic events, but a big slide a moment ago, and Arsho finding it going a little difficult. We saw her have a problem the other day, only to recover and still win by a big margin. This young lady is phenomenal. Fairly new to the circuit, only made her debut last year at the World Championships, having been on the World Cup circuit that season as well. And she, at the moment, is the force to be reckoned with. This, an opportunity for her to pick up her 4th gold medal. She's 4 seconds ahead of Rida here. That is a phenomenal run, considering there were some difficulties. Super G gold, Alpine combined gold, Giant Slalom gold, and Ebba Arsho has the best of the first runs so far. There is a pretty decent, sizable French contingent on the side of the course. You might be able to hear the noise that they're making as the athletes come into the bottom section. This is Aurélie Richard, who herself has had a very good start to life as a para-alpine skier. A bronze and a silver here in her debut World Championships. The 17-year-old has had one of the biggest smiles here during these World Championships. Another single ski pole user, Richard, manoeuvring through and hitting the line in 60.31. She's some 5.66 seconds back. There you go. There's the French contingent at the bottom. And we move on to Vanessa Gaskova of Slovakia. Gaskova, another that is fairly new on the scene. And again, as you can see, no use of ski poles for Gaskova, a bit like the great Martin Franzer, her teammate, who we'll see a little bit later on. It's his final race, Martin Franzer, and we'll talk a bit more about him later on, but he's a legend when it comes to Slovakian para-alpine circuit. This is her first World Championships, Gaskova. Debuted in Beijing. And Gaskova comes through 17 seconds back. Well, this is Richard, who at the moment is in third place. Is she on course for another medal? We will find out as we go along. Next up will be Anna Maria Rida in second position. We said this is her best major event medal tally to date, and it's looking like being added to, but this lady here on the charge, quite literally, towards another gold medal. Maria Martin Granizzo Ferrero, our final standing athlete. Just replacing one of the poles. So a bit of coursework to be done. They take a fair whack on the way down. Ferrero. Made her debut in the giant slalom, unable to finish. Oh, and it's another slide out. Well, it clearly is fairly slippy out there. We saw Fred Turgeon, a World Championship medalist, slide out earlier on. Clearly, these conditions tricky, and the youngster, just 16, has finished her race the same way she finished the women's giant slalom the other day. So Arsho showing once again her quality, 4.2 seconds up on Anna Maria Rida. Aurélie Richard in second place. In third place, should I say. On to the sitting. We'll have 7 in the women's sitting, or at least we should. We'll finish off with the 2 Japanese athletes. We'll start with Annalena Forster, who would be the heavy favourite for everyone in this. Away goes Forster. Still only 27. Annalena. It's off her World Championships in 2013 back in La Molina here in Spain. It was a silver that day. And everything started changing from 2018. Picked up a couple of golds in Pyeongchang. She has become a force to be reckoned with ever since. Golds at every competition since, 3 here out of the 4 so far. Only Barbara van Bergen of the Netherlands has beaten her. That was in the women's downhill. Super G, Alpine combined and giant slalom are all going back to Germany with this lady here. Will it be 4 to go back to Freiburg with the slalom tucked away in the suitcase as well. Up to the line, 56.90. Well, that's the time set first off. The rest will have to see what they can do with that. Audi Pascual Seco, who also made a debut in the giant slalom the other day. Got a bit like her compatriot Ferrero. She slid out, but I'll tell you what she was doing. She was ahead at the first intermediate, was Pascual Seco, in that giant slalom, which was interesting. So it would have been nice to have seen her get down to the bottom and register a time, but at the moment, Audrey Pascual Seco is some 4.63 down here in the slalom. Much trickier, much turnier, as I heard one of the athletes call it the other day. I was talking to Australia's Sam Tate about doing the slalom, of which he isn't. I was just talking about the complete differences between that and perhaps the Super G or the downhill. I think his words were, it hurts more, which I suppose is a decent reason not to do it. Pascual Seco will complete this run, hurt or not, 7.76 seconds back. We just take a look up in the top right corner of your screen. We were just about to take a look at the start for Sailor O'Brien of the USA, but that start is a stop because Sailor has unfortunately gone down and she's just struggling to find a halt here. That advertising boarding has slowed her somewhat, but she's still slipping and sliding and spinning, and we hopefully that she can come to a standstill in a moment. Gets flat in a second, as you can see, and O'Brien is just waiting it out to come to a pause. Well, it seems like it's been fairly controlled. There's a bit of movement from O'Brien. That might have hurt. It certainly will be cold. And a few start to make their way over to see if they can help and see if she needs anything other than assistance to an upright. Well, this is Annalena Forster. Well, the US flag on the front of that sit ski belongs to Laurie Stevens. She isn't out of the contest yet, and you would fancy her to be inside medal positions at the end. 38 years of age. She's been winning gold medals since Torino in 2006 at the Paralympic Games. Veteran is probably the right word. Fans of the Swedish team. Crowd control. At the moment, some running repairs, not only to O'Brien, who seems okay. The youngster in her debut World Champs. You take the rough with the smooth. She's had some medals. She's had some good times. The final day doesn't end with the greatest of memories. Stevens once again waiting to get her World Champs final day underway.
Get her down, Laurie! Laurie, encore.
Stevens saw O'Brien sliding out of the contest unceremoniously. Stevens with a steady and assured approach. 3 silver medals from 4 here. .10 seconds back. The closest to Forster at the moment is Pascual Seco. 7.76. We've still got Kiviranta, Harada and Kishimoto still to come. So getting to the bottom at the moment could potentially get you a medal if the rest continue to struggle. But Stevens, no such issues like O'Brien. Got to make these last few gates count. The lead time is very much gone. We're going to be a good 10 seconds out as well, and it's been a slow and steady effort from Stevens. 13.4 seconds the difference. This is Nete Kiviranta. Kiviranta also, like Stevens, just taking a steady approach to this. Should be 7 seconds back as well at that first intermediate, so the race is on between Kiviranta and Stevens in this bottom section. Stevens at the moment in 3rd place. .30.21 Kiviranta. This is only her 2nd World Championships as well. Picked up a bronze in the giant slalom. And she'll hit the line here and she goes into 4th place. There's not much between Kiviranta and Stevens for that bronze, so that could be interesting during the 2nd run. Oh, and down goes the first of our Japanese athletes, Norika Harada. And a bit like O'Brien, she's going to have to just try and slide to the end, but unlike O'Brien, this is rather quick, so we're going to hope this comes to a safe ending. We might need the nets on this side, and Harada takes a big tumble. We might just get ourselves a fairly lengthy delay here as people rush over to see if the Japanese sit skier is all right. We hope she is. 38-year-old made her debut in Beijing. Didn't finish the giant slalom the other day, Harada, and has tumbled out of this one at speed into the nets. This is a lady that's currently in 2nd, and it will be a huge moment for the locals if Audrey Pascual Seco is to medal in her debut World Championships.
Okay, well, at the end of the 1st run, you are currently in 1st position. How do you feel ahead of the slalom this afternoon?
Yeah, I feel good. I'm looking forward for the 2nd run. It isn't that easy. The steep part is very difficult, but it makes fun, and yeah, I'm looking forward.
And how confident are you of getting another gold medal just to finish off the World Championships?
I have to bring it down, and then we will see. So yeah, I give everything, and I push me, and then I hope it will be the gold.
Well, best of luck for the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to hear from the current race leader as we have that pause, but also good is the fact that we can see Marika Herrera making her own way down towards the finish. So other than a few bumps, and that's something that these Alpine skiers get used to, she seems pretty fine. One more lady to come in the women's sitting category, and this is Eika Kishimoto. Of course, a few repairs needed to some of the gates that were clattered by the Japanese athlete sliding out. The second of the two Japanese athletes, some 10 years younger. This is her debut major event as well. Fourth in the giant slalom. It's a real opportunity for a medley here. Only 4 have finished from the first 6. We've only got 7. So a big chance for Eika Kishimoto to ski herself to a medal. First job, get through the first run and be somewhere in contention. The battle for bronze is quite hard at the moment, actually, because Stevens and Kiviranta are just over 0.2 of a second apart. You see the safety fencing just being put back, and even though we hope it's not used or needed again, it has to be secure, it has to be right. And what is already a long day, because we've amalgamated the men's and women's event into the same day, just got a little bit longer because of this delay. But having had 2 go out here, 2 at least in the women's standing, and a couple of issues in the women's VI, the afternoon session gets naturally shorter anyway. Long old wait this for Kishimoto. Always the opportunity to overthink it. A few of the VI athletes from earlier just taking in the action still. The finish line today is not far away from the restaurant that they all go for lunch, so if you just take a left as you look at it and come towards yourselves, then there's a nice family area just over there. So many of the skiers are taking the opportunity to actually stand around and watch the rest. You can see a little bit of work needed here, and it can't be started until they are set. And the drill is needed once again for the foot of that fence to go into. So once it's in and secure, we'll get going again, but not until that man from the control there says so. And well, they walk away, so we are indeed happy with that. And Eika Kishimoto can be invited towards the start gate once again. Here we are then. Dobre, shouted by the Croatian official at the top. That means good. That means go. Year-old Eika Kishimoto, the final sit skier to come. First ever competition back in 2017. Only picked up the sport in 2011 when she was 17. Oh, and it's some very early difficulties here, and already a struggle. And I just wonder if she's looked down that hill thought about what's happened to her teammate and thought better of it. And you know what? Having watched what happened to Harada, you cannot blame Kishimoto at all. I think she's took the safe route out of the women's sitting contest. So 4 have finished from the 7. The battle for bronze is on. Gold with a clean run. Looks like going one way and one way only, and being Annalena Forster's 4th gold medal of these World Championships. Into the men's vision impaired we go. 9 athletes scheduled to go in this one. Giacomo Bertagnoli will be the first of those to get out, and that is the reigning Paralympic champion. Johannes Eigner is in this as well. And there we wait. Thinking about their runs. That's Michael Stragel of Austria, who will go second, but the man to lead us out and set the quickest time. Under the watchful eye of Federico Pellizzari, his teammate in the standing category. He is just to the left of the start gate as we saw it. It is Bertagnoli, guided by Andrea Ravelli. "24 years of age, birthday just before the start of the competition." Bertagnoli goes 24.44 in the opening intermediate. Gold in Treviso at his 2nd World Championships was a huge moment for him. It has driven him on to be very successful ever since. And the slalom, one of those where he is the man to beat. 48.85. Bertagnoli has crushed it. Giant slalom gold already. Slalom gold and super combined in Beijing. Giant slalom gold in Lillehammer. Slalom winner in 2019 at the World Championships as well. That is a man, Bertagnoli, who knows what it takes to do 2 very quick runs and get a gold medal. This is Michael Schnagel. Schnagel is out. 33-year-old in his debut World Champs. He made his debut in Beijing. Didn't finish any of those races. He got 4 finishes from 4, including a bronze. Again, just an innocuous one where perhaps just lost sight of the course. Something in his vision perhaps affected. And Schnagel goes out. This is Hyacinth de la Place, guided by Roy Picard at the helm. And de la Place was another that burst onto the scene. He came from para-athletics, having competed in London in 2012. A few World Championships. He's now a 2nd down though in the opening part of this slalom. Big World Championship debut with gold medals. He couldn't replicate that in Beijing. He got a bronze from the downhill only. Here, he had a silver from the downhill. There's no other medal. Oh, and he's going out as well, or is he going to try and get back in? Well, he's going to scamper back up, because you just never know how many people will go out. But de la Place with a huge struggle. Well, you can forget the gold at this moment. And he gets a big cheer from that French contingent at the bottom, but you saw the shoulders slump for Hyacinth. This is Neil Simpson. Gold medal in the Super G here. Beijing Super G gold medalist as well. He's only 0.63 behind Bertagnoli, the 20-year-old Rob Poff as the guide. Used to have a brother as his guide. Rob Poff now taking on that responsibility, and with a gold medal here, taking it on well, it would seem. Slalom not necessarily Simpson's bag previously, a 6th place finish in Lillehammer last year. 9th in Beijing. He's only 1.64 down here. Well, there aren't 9 people in this, well, there are 9 people in this, but there aren't any more because of Schnagel's removal. This is Michał Goles of Poland. He's guided by Kasper Valles. 0.14. It's a good start for Goles. Oh, Goles! Oh, no. Well, disappointment as he waves his arms in the air. He wasn't far off in that intermediate time check, but just there, well, he either knows he straddled it or the guide. They're going to carry on here, but a big, tough start at the top end for Johannes Eigner as well. It is all kicking off. Oh, the slide, it's the guide that goes down. Well, my. Johannes Eigner is out.
Out. Goes clear.
Big shake of the head from Matteo Fleischmann on the men's VI contest. Taking a real turn. Paralympic silver medalist out. Three of our 6 so far have failed to finish. Now this is Marek Kubacka, giant slalom gold medalist of 2019, the only athlete competing here as a B1 athlete. That means that his goggles, his mask is completely blacked out. You can see that there, no reflectiveness on the front of it. He is guided only by his guide. Maria Zatovikova is the only way that Marek knows to turn right or to turn left. Big slide, oh, he just touches that gate, doesn't straddle it, but he's down, there's a struggle. He's backwards and he is out. 4 from 7 so far have gone. It's very difficult in the slalom. And it's too difficult again for Marek Kubacka as he goes out. Two still to come, scheduled at least. And the first of those is Huang Mingyu. Alexander Choi in the women's, representing Republic of Korea. Jung Sang-hyun is the guide for Huang. And it's easy sailing so far. An outside chance for a medal here for Huang and Patrick Jensen. Keeping it steady. Starts to get into the bottom section then. They'll be able to see the line from there. Oh, it's tricky. It's the guide that's having a struggle once again. Huang Mingyu will get to the line though. He only the fourth person. He goes into third. Well, could be historic moments for Huang because he doesn't have a medal from any of his previous performances on the world stage. Jensen. Another that doesn't have a medal. Been competing back since Treviso in 2017 on the world stage. And with only 4 people finishing in front of them, a huge opportunity for Ethan Jackson and Patrick Jensen. Had the pleasure of his company and his girlfriend and his wonderful sister the other night. Having a good chat and a laugh. Really likeable character, Patrick Jensen. And I'm sure when they get to the bottom here, the conversation has to be about a steady second run for all 5 of the athletes. I'm being presumptuous here that Jensen will complete the run. At the moment, there shouldn't be too much left on this course to be a struggle. So the conversations at the bottom here, get a decent second run, and there is a big chance of a medal for everyone, because anybody that makes a mistake, it's an advantage to you. Jensen will go across in 5th position, 17 seconds, but the time here almost feels irrelevant because Bertagnoli and Simpson will battle. If one were to make a mistake, just like Johannes Aigner did, just like Golas did, just like Kubacki did, and just like Schernagel did, and we could find ourselves with a very interesting bronze or silver medal winner. Fascinating. We'll find out what happens in that one later on in the day. Men standing, the largest entry list of them all, 23 going here in this contest. Rachbauer will go last. Multiple names in the middle there. Watch out for bib 48 after Barchet. This man here knows what it takes to win medals. It's not been his best World Championships. But Thomas Walsh, who is 28 tomorrow. What an early birthday gift a medal would be here. 10th Super G, 12th downhill, 11th slalom, giant slalom, 4th in the combined. So just missed out there. But this is a guy that has a giant slalom silver at Beijing. And he has a couple of bronze medals from his 2019 World Championships. Can Tommy Walsh put in a big performance? Now, big news in the men's VI. I'll give it to you at the end of Walsh's race. But if you're a fan of the VI athletes, you might want to hear this. Walsh goes across 55.68. We have to find out if that's good enough to put him in medal contention for the second run. Right, as we get started here with Jules Segers of France in the men's standing. Just to tell you that bib number 29, which belongs to Hyacinth Delaplace, has been disqualified. I'm assuming he missed a gate. Segers has missed plenty. He slid out as well. Delaplace has gone, so it means we are down to just 4 athletes in the men's VI category, which means at the moment Huang or Jensen are going to win their first ever medal. Huge for those 2 athletes. Part of this sport is getting to the bottom twice. If the rest don't do it, it's not your fault if you went slower. What you did was concentrate. So those 2, they might not be up to chasing Simpson and Bertagnoli, but Huang and Jensen are in the mix for a medal. Big moments. Back to the men standing. This is Jourdain Brossan of France. Again, right outside of my tent, and yes, I've said tent. There is the gathering of French spectators on the side near the finish here. Brossan is quick here, 0.12, just over a tenth quicker than Thomas Walsh so far. What Walsh has done is got to the bottom. That was the most important. Second out of the gate, Sagers didn't manage it. So another DNF, did not finish. Goes on the list. Sagers just 19 went out. Brossan, who's 29, some 10 years older, goes over the line and goes in front, 0.82 quicker than Walsh. That gives us an idea of the time. Robin Couche. It has been a indifferent World Championships for Robin Couche. 3 silvers and a DNF in the giant slalom where he would have fancied it. He hadn't got a medal anywhere since 2017 at the World Championships, and Couche arrived here in very good form and hopeful of that first ever gold. 3 silvers so far. He is 1 second up though here on Brossan of France. Oh, it's a big sideways moment. One leg off the ground altogether. And Couche will not be accused of desperately trying hard, but he is out. Couche goes out yet again here. Well, it's a fine balance between going 100% and staying within the lines, quite literally staying within the lines. And Couche has had one of those moments where he's just pushed it too much. And out he goes, Lindström. This is quick. Aaron Lindström, 1.41 seconds. Bronze in the Alpine combined was his first ever, and Lindström goes as well. Well, he slides down. We'll find out if he's okay or not. Look how close to the line he is. And there might be a bit of a dent in the pride to match a little bruise on the right side, but he just slides out. Oh, it's an innocuous one as well. Aaron Lindström, having picked up that bronze in the Alpine combined, will be furious. That was a real opportunity to be in medal contention after this first run. He was well up on Walsh. At the moment, Brossan and Walsh continue to sit in first and second. This is Roger Puigdavi of Andorra, not far from where we are. Andorra. Just the singular athlete competes for them on the para circuit, and this is he. Been around a while as well. First World Championships back in 2017. Another of our athletes without a medal to date. I always say to date because you just never know. Puigdavi doesn't look like he's had a problem getting down at all, and he goes into third, 2.51 seconds behind at the end. Andrew Harrogate, USA on course. Seven-year-old Enfield in Connecticut. There's a lot of his training out in Aspen in Colorado. Severe muscle tension from the waist down from cerebral palsy is the impairment that Harrogate fights with on his way down. Important to remember when watching para-alpine skiing, unlike able body where the battle is just against the course, for many of these athletes the battle is them proving that their impairment does not limit them Harry is doing just that. He will get to the bottom. Cerebral palsy or not, he has got across the line. Well, he's taken the tumble at the end, but he won't mind. The time has already counted. He's 4.5 seconds down on the leader, and he's down in the finish line, but he is through to the second run. Now, this is Thomas Phil. My understanding is this is probably Thomas Phil's final World Championships. One of those New Year's Day babies. Thomas Phil lives in Steinen in Switzerland. Another that's been on the circuit since way back when, 2006. They picked up a couple of medals in Torino, silver in the slalom, bronze in the giant slalom, all the way back to Torino. It's been medalless for a few years. His last one back in La Molina in 2013, and Phil will indeed get across the line.
Okay, goes clear.
So Phil hits the line. Next up should be Oscar Burnham, and we'll wait for him to make that start. The Frenchman, bib number 44, we'll get ready for him in a moment. Brossan, the leader. There he is. Man from team. Acquired his impairment back in 2018 in an accident. His first World Championships in Lillehammer saw a 7th place and an 8th place finish. 8th in this slalom. Burnham's 0.65 ahead here. Well, I said he had a debut that was pretty good. Can he end his second World Championships emphatically? 6th in the Super G. It's his best result to date. But Oscar Burnham is burning through the course. 0.02. Oh dear. Just behind Brossan. But he's got to the bottom. 3 haven't, including the very exceptional Robin Kusch and Aaron Lindstrom. He's in the mix, Burnham, for sure. This is Santeri Kiveri. Always a pleasure to say where he's from. Alpine. There you go. Kiveri. Still only 22. And he will come towards the line here. He was bang level. What's he got in the bottom? Oh, 0.59. Well, it just goes to show you how well Brossan was doing in the latter stages. And actually, Thomas Walsh here, he's back down in 4th, but the gap is still only 0.82 between the top 4. Jesse Keith. Another youngster, just 18, Jesse Keith. Comes from Sun Valley in Idaho. 9th in the slalom in Beijing. It's certainly the preferred event for Jesse Keith. An athlete born without an ankle bone in his right leg. So you see the right side, the prosthetic within the boot. And Keith, 2.55 seconds down. He slips in behind Huidavi. and goes into 6th position. Well, we're about halfway through here. Adam Hall of New Zealand will be up next. A few more repairs needed before that. Well, Hall is 35. Somebody that's also been competing since Torino back in 2006, and Sochi wasn't to be for Hall. He had a stomach complaint which affected his Paralympic Games in Russia that year. No such problems in Pyeongchang. Slalom standing gold, which caught a few off guard. Double bronze when it came to Beijing. One of those in the slalom, one of those in the combined. It's the first look at Hall we've had here at these World Championships. Picked up a silver in the slalom last year in Lillehammer as well in the slalom. So you kind of get the gist. Slalom, Adam Hall, hand in hand and all that. Met his wife in America on a training camp, skiing. So you could say that it is very much a part of his life. And himself a second back. Has he got some speed in this bottom section to help him close the gap? He can't, no. 57.35. He goes into 5th place. And again, Walsh, that run is now standing the test of time. 0.82. Now, Arthur Balchet. Get used to saying that he's had a tremendous tournament or tremendous championships with Arthur Balchet in recent time. But it's true, he's done it again. 2 golds and a bronze so far. He was 2.8 seconds quicker than Brossan. It's 4.77 at the end. Well, we referred to him as King Arthur the other day. He really is the king of the slopes at the moment. That is absolutely phenomenal. 4.77. This is Thomas Glocher. That was Thomas Glocher. Well, he's almost taken the cameraman out there. Big slide out from Glocher, and a disappointment for him. So top 5, Balchet, Brossan, Burnham. It is a France 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Givry and Walsh are the closest after that. Look how close it gets. Do they get danger money? Camera operators, I wonder. If they don't, they should. I'll have a word with the director later on. Pellizzari on his way. Single ski pole in the left hand for the Italian. He is bursting through here. The brilliant thing about slalom is just matching the speed with the accuracy, and that is a prime example, as I said it. That's almost commentator curse territory. I was just about to say, Pellizzari, you've got to match the speed with making sure you get through the gates. And just as I was about to say it, that happens there. He was doing well. And as my director has just said, boom, out he goes.
Quick, edge to edge, let's go. Attack.
Patrick Halgren.
Get her done, Pat. Get her done. Pat, on course.
Very likeable character in the American team. Pat Halgren. years of age now. Only made his debut at World Championships last year. Got him a trip to Beijing as well. There is potential within the American, is what they feel. And Halgren looking for a completed run, because at the moment, plenty have not done that. 5 so far. Approaching the 10-year anniversary of his motorcycle accident that led to the amputation of his left leg. Arms aloft in the air. It's another finish run. And he is enjoying having spectators at the side. Halgren getting stuck into them as he finishes his race. This is Davide Bendotti. .3 seconds down on the leader, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's out of contention for a medal, because the closest to Barchet is 4.7 seconds down. So this would, if maintained at this speed, would put Bendotti in second. We'll find out, shall we, as he approaches the final stages. Another that only took up para skiing in 2013. Bendotti goes 10th, 58.04. This is Christoph Glotzner. German is 4.38 seconds back. Bendotti in a very similar position. He does hit the line, 57.48, so he is some 7.39 seconds back. There's a lot of people in the 7 from Adam Hall downwards to Bendotti. 7.26 for Adam Hall, 7.95 for Bendotti. That's 11th and 6th. Pretty tight there, and then less than a second between 5th and 2nd position. So battles all over the place, just not for Barchet, who absolutely marauded his way down this hill. This is Kohei Takahashi from Japan. Just 21 years of age. Debut in Pyeongchang. Hasn't got close to a medal yet in his career. Is this the one? Lead time clearly gone. He's going to be a couple of seconds outside of that. 9 of those to be exact. That puts him in 12th position, just behind Bendotti and in front of Harrogate. Now then, this is Martin Franze. Today is the last time that Franze will compete for Slovakia. He has been a huge ambassador for para skiing. You can see no ski poles due to his impairment for Martin Franze. It's been that way since he started competing on the world level at 2006's Paralympic Winter Games in Torino in Italy. Martin has been a part of this circuit ever since. And today he chooses this to be the last day of his career. A few bronze medals in the early stages, some very near misses in recent years. Mauricio 4th in the giant slalom. Martin Franze. See the adapted gloves to knock away the gate poles, and Martin Francer gets an applause from everyone, including me, as he hits the line here. He gets one more go at it later on, but Martin Francer, we salute you, sir. We'll see you in the second run. This is Arvid Skoglund of Sweden. Took a wide berth through there. He's only 3.84 down in that section, which a lot of people have been well over 4 seconds down in recent runs. Oh, and a big whack between the legs there for Skoglund. That one will hurt just there. Straddling the gates, it leads to a disqualification and a touch of pain as well, I'd imagine. This is the penultimate men's standing skier. This is Leander Kress. Doesn't want to join the list of 6 that haven't made it down so far. The single leg skier from Germany. Turned 22 a few days ago, did Leander. Oh, and he's out. Well, he'll be trying to desperately bring himself to a pause, which he has done beautifully as well, may I add. 8.7 for the dismount, Leander Kress. But look at that, just single leg skier, so difficult. You would see that in the sit ski competition as well. Hits a bump, hits something that's out there that's perhaps missable on 2 skis, but if you're on a single ski and you hit it at speed, you are in trouble. Manuel Rachbauer is the final skier to come. He represents Austria. Oh, and the final athlete of the first run takes a similar exit route to a few others before. Rachbauer goes out here. He becomes number 8. It's a big old slide for Rachbauer. He's getting some attention. Again, just into the left, but doesn't take the body weight where it needs to be. And Rachbauer, with coaches looking on, that's all they can do from there. Rachbauer slides out. It was impressive from Barchet, to say the least. It is a France 1-2-3, and there is less than a second between second and 5th. A very interesting second run to come in the men's standing. So Oscar Burnham, Jordan Boursan and Arthur Barchet are our leaders. This is Burnham, who, very impressive, a non-medalist before today. Boursan, this would be a huge moment for him. Barchet, he's in a position that over the last 3 or 4 years he has become very accustomed to. He leads here in ISPO. Well, the men's sitting contest, always the final piece of action. But of course, don't forget, this is a 2-run contest. So be sure to tune in for the second as well. Starts at 1:30 this afternoon. And we get off to a quick start here. I say that because this young man in your picture doesn't know how to do it any other way. It's quick or not at all. Jesper Pedersen, the current Paralympic champion. Niels de Langen, silver medalist. And René Di Silvestro, the bronze from Beijing. So you notice no medal for Camp Schreur in this event during Beijing. 23-year-old from Liederdorp. Didn't finish the slalom. Oh, and he doesn't finish it here either. Sliding out. Camp Schreur swings his arm in frustration. He will end these World Championships without a gold medal, and it's the first time he's ever done that. It's his first World Championships without a gold. The young star, goldless for the first time ever. Tauricio, Kranjska-Gora, Selenovia and Lillehammer, he went away with a gold, at least one, from all of those contests. And Jeroen Camp Schreur will have to reflect. 2 silvers, 2 bronze, no gold. This is Magnus Bartjen from Norway. His teammate Jesper Pedersen. There's bib number 71 a little bit later on. Bartjen has now the responsibility of setting the first time at the bottom. Oh, and he's just, got very sideways as well. Well, 30 seconds to get to the first time check, the only time check really. Intermediate time set around the 30-second mark. The ambition for the quick ones is to be well inside the 60-second mark, so of course that time check pretty much halfway on the course. The final section here as it drops slightly. You can see the finish line from this point. Matthew Brewer is out on course. Bartjen does set the quickest time, 59.45. Now, 47-year-old Brewer out on course. 9th place in the Super G here. In the Alpine combined, should I say. 10th in the Super G. Oh, that's seriously wide, but he's managed to correct himself neatly enough. Through the gates he goes, as long as he doesn't miss it, he gets to carry on. He's 0.75 down behind Bartjen, but I think in the early stages of competing for Matthew Brewer, it's all about finishing, collecting points and showcasing the ability to navigate successfully down to the bottom. Competed in Beijing as well. Completed both the Giant Slalom and Slalom. Here, he's finished all 4 races. So again, for Matthew Brewer, not necessarily about finishing. It's about improving the speed through those gates. And he goes into second, 0.62 behind Bartjen at present. Out on the course then is his teammate Dragan. Ravi wearing bib number 62, the 33-year-old from Eugene in Oregon. Double amputation after an incident with a train back in 2004 for Ravi Dragan. Started competing internationally for the US. His first major tournament was last year in Lillehammer. So again, a bit like Brewer, with the constant improvements that the US team will be looking at. He was 0.88 up. Dragan. As Jurne Slivnik hits the slope. Yeah, it's nice, that monoski being manoeuvred through, and he's 2 seconds up on Balchen. Dragan goes into the front. Slivnik pushing and pushing too hard. 22-year-old goes out. That's why it was important for Dragan to get across the line. Hearing that both Sleg and Drevitsky will not start here on this course. So that's bibs numbers 73 and 74 if you're waiting for those at Britain and New Zealand. Sleg and Drevitsky not going to start. Well, this is Suzuki. Slivnik goes out. Suzuki out the gate. 34-year-old from Fukushima. Slalom gold world champ back as far as 2011. Did it again in Sochi. Did it again at the World Championships in Canada in 2015. Hasn't managed it since. But we've seen with his compatriot Taiki Mori, surprises can happen. Mori, gold medalist on day one in the Super G, caught everybody off guard. This Japanese team of very experienced sit skiers are coming back to the fore. Suzuki, some 3 seconds up here, on his way to setting the quickest time so far. One more gate, and he will do that. 53.83 is now the time to beat. This is Victor Pirel. Oh, it was Victor Pirel. Just unable to come back in and find the room he wanted for that blue gate. You just saw it there, look. Once he'd taken that right through the red, he couldn't get back through, and he goes and joins the gathering of DNF fan club on the left-hand side of the hill. Slivnik, I think it was, that he's gone and joined. We were talking about this man a moment ago. This is Taiki Mori. Gold medal on day one for the 42-year-old that hadn't won a World Championship gold medal since 2013. He certainly said hello on day one, didn't he, in the Super G? Picked up a few silvers and bronze medals. He was silver in 2015 in the slalom. He got 2 bronze in Beijing, which should have been an alarm bell for everyone to keep an eye out for Taiki Mori. He was on the up. Super G gold here, downhill silver. And at the moment, with not so many left to come, a good finish here, somewhere around Suzuki's time would be good for Mori, but at the moment it is his compatriot that leads the way. Taiki Mori, 53.83 to beat. Mori, he's not going to do that. Just 0.36 though, and it's 1-2 Japan at the moment. Lou Brasdeguin from France, the next to go. And he's the next to go out as well. And he beats the slope. Lou Brasdeguin hammers his outrigger into the snow. Real frustration from Lou Brasdeguin. Well, it might be 1-2-3 in the men's standing for France, but their 2 sit skiers have both gone out here. Pirel and Brasdegan have gone. Now, Niels de Langen. Kampster's gone. De Langen, the silver medalist in Beijing. Pedersen, the gold medalist still to come from Beijing. De Langen searching for a first ever world gold medal. Is this the time for the 24-year-old? His teammate's gone. 26.30 at the intermediate. He is behind, and some way as well. 1.73 at the moment. These runs from Suzuki and Mori looking very good indeed. Can he find a bit more speed? He was very happy with how quick he was on the hill at the start of the week. He was just unhappy at not finding the finish line. He needs to change that around. He's a big old unit, Niels de Langen. He pushes that sit ski well, and he's got himself within 0.73 in the end. The second run, he's left himself with something to do, but he's left himself in the contest at least. De Langen goes top 3 with that run. Gets a thumbs up from Jeroen Kampster. And they now have to take a look and see what happens. First up, Josh Hanlon. Hanlon of Australia. 25 years of age. Around the New South Wales area. Prior to his impairment, big Aussie rules player, loves the sport. This is his first world champs. Second world champ, should I say, and he's hitting 14th here in the downhill and the Super G. Might be 2 seconds back here, but he's currently still in the upright position, which is not to be said for 4 of the 10 so far. And Hanlon, it's a successful run. It puts him in 4th position. Here comes the bronze medalist from the slalom in Beijing, René Di Silvestro. Year-old. 26.30 the time to look at. 1.15. Super combined gold medalist in Lillehammer. 2 silver medals, should I say, when it came to the Paralympics in Beijing. 1 silver and this bronze, should I say. And he will get to the line. How close is he going to be? He is 2 seconds up. Wow. Paralympic medalist leads the way at the World Championships all of a sudden. From bronze in Beijing to leading the way here. And Jesper Pedersen on the course. Now, Pedersen, Paralympic champion. 1 mistake here, and you're out. He'll know that. So Pedersen is also Loves to go as quick as he can. 2.2 seconds up. A clean run here, and he will have a very quick time, it would seem. Pedersen smashing his way through. Hitting the line, 1.47 seconds he leads. Well, never expect anything less from this man. Slalom gold in Lillehammer, slalom gold in Beijing, and he is one run away from making it the hat-trick. Well, Nicola Biscay-Hudson wasn't meant to be the final athlete of the morning, but he will be. The two last bib numbers not running. So the man from Chile, only 24 years of age. He's made it round there. It'll be a big old turn for this next one. He's made it round that as well, so he stays on course. Not for much longer though, and well, if he's stationary, he's out. And I'm sure the judges will look at that as to whether or not he was still moving. He's still moving here because he fancies it. He clearly believes he hadn't stopped totally. So Nicola Biscay-Hudson continues his run. Second World Championships for him. Didn't compete in Lillehammer, but he did go to Beijing. He did go to Pyeongchang. Those two Paralympic Games experiences for the Chilean. Seventh in the downhill here in Espoo. And he will make it to the bottom here. I'm not sure if he won't get looked at a little closer. We might see Biscay-Hudson in the second run. We might not. At the moment, he is in last position. 10 have made it. 6 did not.
Okay, 10th provisory position.
We'll take a look at the sitting standings. Jesper Pedersen, René Di Silvestro and Takeshi Suzuki lead the way. Good battle there between the two Japanese sit skiers for the bronze, it would seem. Only 10 left in the contest. Any mistakes from those above could just invite Brewer, Balchen, Drugan and Hanlon into a more advantageous position. This is Suzuki, who ended the first run in third position. He led for quite a while, right in the face there for René Di Silvestro, but that's what that chin guard is in place for. And Jesper Pedersen, he's our leader. It's something we're very used to. He's on course for another gold medal. Well, we'll join our run again at 1:30 this afternoon. From myself, Alan March, here in Espoo. Have a great afternoon.